Are you frequently late paying your rent?
Absolutely not.
Just January and February is not enough, so I'm striking that cause off the notice. Just January and February is not enough, so I'm striking that cause off the notice. The landlord said he was stabbed. When did that happen? March the 6th. The landlords have hospital records or police records? Okay. I wasn't hurt by the knife. Rather, he pushed me and he pushed me and he stabbed me, but not with the knife because I hold his hand.
Hold on a sec. He stabbed him, but not with the knife?
Person with the knife.
What?
We have more concern about the security. They can hire someone to hit her. It hit us. On January 22nd, Richard, his father, he punched my wife on her face and pushed her, and she fell down, right? Because he was using the water wrongfully on the street, and my wife, she turned the water off, nozzle off from the back. That is wasting the water. So that came in our property and he burst my car tires, and I did see him, but he ran away. He had been coming to their house to see them a couple of times, everything, and he attacked me with a knife, and he stabbed me, and I have the marks on my body. And then I called the police, and then now the person was charged. At that time we didn't have the cameras, and now we have our cameras. Okay, 3rd and 4th. That's fine. What date was the stabbing?
He was stabbed. On at least 2 or 3 occasions they said stabbed, and I think they said stabbed with a knife, I would assume. But then later they came by and I got them saying that he was actually not stabbed with a knife. So may I ask the landlord, what was he stabbed with? What did he get stabbed with?
Do you think that's a helpful question?
It kind of is. If he's telling you he got stabbed,
listen.
That's a very helpful question.
To interpret.
But okay, if he's saying that he got stabbed, then he's saying he didn't get stabbed.
Interpret things without black and white facts. I know that you want things in black and white truth, but I can interpret the evidence to come up with what is most likely the case.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
What I understand from the landlord's testimony is that this person made a stabbing motion near them.
That's not what he said. He said he got stabbed. He literally said he got stabbed.
Okay, Tenant, if you would like to bicker about this, we can waste time bickering about it. Would you prefer?
I'm not bickering. You did not interrupt them when he was bickering. This is very important. This is just another example of his lies. He lied about being stabbed. He never went to a hospital.
What date was the stabbing? The landlord said he was stabbed. When did that happen?
The notice. There's a picture I included where there was a handwritten notice that he tried to give me. Once again, I told him that wouldn't work, and finally he got the actual notice. Did you
ever pay an illegal rent increase?
No. That's why it took so long.
I don't think it's relevant.
It's completely relevant. He tried to charge me 5 times the legal limit, and if I would have done it, he would have taken it.
So then I have made note of that, and it can provide context, but...
Then why is it irrelevant if it can provide context? I'm trying to go to the next point.
I'm not saying it's irrelevant, but I'm just
You just did say it's irrelevant.
The most important thing to determine today is whether or not the one-month notice will be successful.
The wife was home. My dad was washing the car. I saw him, and I went back around the corner, and just as I went back, I heard some commotion, I turned around and I saw that the wife had smacked him and was just in the process of smacking him the second time, and then he said, "What the hell are you doing?" And he took the hose back and plugged it back in, and I told him to call the police. He had a red mark on his face. There was no hitting her. She hit him. She definitely smacked him. He was very adamant. I have footage of him phoning the police right after this happened. The police were there. Now, what I'm wondering is, why were there no assault charges? If he hit his wife, that seems a lot more serious than hitting him. Why were there assault charges filed the first time, and why not the second time?
The most important thing to determine is whether or not this tenancy will continue. Tenant, are you frequently late paying your rent?
Absolutely not. I was on time every single time with my rent, except in the last 2 months. Only those 2 months were the only 2 months.
Well, just January and February is not enough, so I'm striking that cause off the notice.
Because I was told that there is no need to attach old documents. I texted him on the 4th of July that the rent has not been paid yet, 4 July 2022. So the rent of that month was paid late, and previously his dad used to pay rent in cash, and that was always paid late.
Okay, the dad paying in cash.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to consider repeated late rent. It's not relevant. The landlord has not established it. The landlord did not upload the right evidence.
No,
I don't care. I don't care. Well, it doesn't matter. No, you don't. Yeah, it's true, but I don't want to hear anything else from the landlord about late rent.
The water outside is the same water we use inside. He has. I have text messages which I've sent you constantly where he talks about using too much water inside.
The tenancy agreement says that water is not included in the rent. Water does cost money. The landlord probably gets a bill every 3 or 4 months for the water usage. So maybe the landlord has some valid concerns here about the water.
Where does
the
it...
The landlord's denying access to the water, and the landlord's been restricting access to the laundry. Is that right?
Yes, but where you actually saw... It says I can't use water?
The tenancy agreement, it says what is included in the rent, and water is not checked.
Yes, but what...
It says water is not included in the rent.
Like it literally says that?
That's the way it's read.
Okay,
what is included in rent? Check only those that are included. It is not checked.
Well, if water's not included in the rent, does that mean he can suddenly like charge us for using water in our house? Like why is there not a utility bill included?
It would just depend on the agreement. So once the car wash closed down, did you ask for permission? Did you ever get written permission to wash your cars in the driveway? The issue is about the laundry. The tenancy agreement says you're only allowed to do laundry once a week, and now the landlord is restricting it to once every 3 weeks on a Friday only?
No, it was once between 1 and 3. Don't you have the information there? 1 to 3 p.m. 1 to 3 p.m. on Friday. But then he wouldn't even let us do it at all without a doctor's note of a bill of health. Does this sound normal? A doctor's bill of health? Despite the fact that the rats are here, he wanted to do these inspections, and I told him, wait, you need me to have a bill of health to do the laundry because you think I'm sick because of rats. When I asked him for the bill of health, he never even thought of it till I did. This is the second time this has happened. We already talked about the damage and me putting words in his mouth on the inspections. This is at least the second time now with me talking about the rats and wanting to get them cleaned up and him denying them even being here and then saying that I have the rats and I need a bill of health because of this to prove I'm healthy to do laundry. Yet he's not afraid to walk right in here, literally walked physically right through me on 2 occasions, which led to this assault charge that he filed.
Tenant, do you have any evidence that there are rats inside your rental unit?
I never said there were rats in my rental unit. There are no rats in my rental unit. The rent being late. We wasted time on that, and I told you repeatedly that you had already stricken that off. and yet you asked again about the repeatedly being late. You said that that wasn't good enough last time, and yet you asked...
I take note of your position on that. Thank you, Tenant. Thank you for, yes, thank you for correcting me there. But I did not make a decision about that.
Yes, you did. You said I'd strike...
After that hearing? No, I did not. I'm not going to consider repeated late rent. It's not relevant. The landlord has not established it. The landlord did not upload the right evidence. No, I don't care. I don't care. Well, it doesn't matter. No, and I don't want to hear anything else from the landlord about late rent. Just January and February is not enough, so I'm striking that cause off the notice.
He does inspections every month, and they're not. This is I've phoned. There's records of me. You have records of me phoning and complaining about this countless times about the way he conducts his inspections. You wouldn't give proper reasons, and you wouldn't give any reasons. You wouldn't give notices. Finally, I forced him to do that. I'm doing it for cleaning, and I'd say you can't come in here and clean my stuff, and you can't keep telling me to move my stuff, and you can't keep telling me to throw my stuff in the garbage. And he would nose around. He would touch stuff. He would ask you weird questions. He would take his time. It was really creepy, and I didn't understand that. He would never say why he would do these inspections. Finally, he started talking about damages, because I said you're supposed to do them for damage. I basically put those words in his mouth over months of saying that's what I thought an inspection was for some kind of thought about damages. And he never said anything about damages until only recently. Somewhere in the last few months, one or two of the inspection notices he gave stated that he was looking for damages. I put those words in his mouth. He was never looking for damages, or didn't know how to even state that legally on a notice. And finally, and there never were any damages. And then he would also say illegal activity. And this is where it gets extremely invasive. There's never any hint of any illegal activity here. I talked with a friend recently. This is not included in my statement or information, but what I learned from this friend was years ago, the residential tenancy branch included these monthly inspection rights for landlords due to grow-ops, marijuana grow operations that were damaging rental properties. And I suspect that he may have been interested in this so-called illegal activity of growing marijuana. We've never grown any marijuana. I have my room with lots of clothes piled up that I can't do the laundry for, which is another one of the main issues of this. And he sits there and sees all this stuff all the time. With where would I put this marijuana grow up? And why would he not smell it? He would smell this. This is totally absurd, and that's one of the main issues of this. You know, I would try to put it off constantly because I wanted to find legal ways to stop these inspections, because they never really were inspections. They were spying and snooping and being a harassing individual that I thought should have been borderline criminal. I thought the idea with that combined with the watching of the laundry room, if I was a 21-year-old girl, could have been a sexual harassment case in a snap of a finger. Right? But I wasn't, and it never got to that, and I never tried to file a sexual harassment case, but believe me, it was pretty darn creepy, and I want to make sure that's loud.
Did you present any evidence, did you provide any evidence that the inspections had occurred more than once per month?
No, they never did occur more than once. That's not the point. That's what I'm saying. He used that legal to... That was not the case. I've just explained to you what he's doing in the inspections. He's telling me to move stuff, he's telling me to throw stuff away, but he got more and more harsher with it, especially since the December 13th filing of this very dispute resolution, my case against him, long before the eviction and the assault charges, that just happened to coincidentally and comfortably fall into place for him in between then and now it's playing into his favor. This is why I'm getting a little bit upset about this. When he came here that day, he came here at 3 o'clock, as he had stated on the notice. He was pounding on the door ridiculously and woke me up from a nap. I didn't want to answer the door. I figured I'd just call him later and say, let's do this later. I didn't want to let him in, and he just kept pounding and pounding on the door. It was like a cop invasion. Finally, I opened the door, which I recorded and sent to you, and I said, what the F are you doing? What is wrong with you? He pushed his arm towards me, and I sort of swatted at his arm because I was using a defensive method. Then my phone goes off. He had knocked my phone out. You can't see that in the video. He knocked my phone out of my hand onto the ground, tried to physically force his way in here. I pushed him back. There's a high step that leads down to the suite. He hit that just under his knee and fell onto his bum there in a seated position. Then, after some time of my dad coming in between, and I was looking for a camera, because my camera was out of battery or something, he then tried to physically force his way right through me. I pushed him back again, the same thing happened. The thing about the pushing the wife is a complete lie, and the hitting him never happened. That's also a lie. They've submitted video evidence to you. You'll see that that's false. That never happened.
Hey, what the fuck do you want? Stop banging on my fucking door!
The landlord's wife, that was one of the last parts I included to you, was the landlord's wife smacking my dad twice. This actually did happen. She did actually hit my dad about the water. This is another one of the issues that I had brought up, about the water. I'll talk more about that later, but she was stopping him from using the water because they continually would say it's their water and not our right to use their water outside to wash our car. Then she smacked him. We called the police over.
We will adjourn.
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
Okay, the log damage. Now, I have supplied you a photo of the damaged log and the very conversation. Are you aware of these text messages, arbitrator?
Just continue, Tenant.
This is my continuation. I'm trying to say that these text messages are part of the evidence.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, thank you. I will rely on the evidence in the file. Please, you were talking about the security footage of the neighbor showing that kid at night slashing tires. So you believe that this child is targeting the landlord because the landlord asked them to fix their car or their vehicle for $5, and the kid is upset about it.
No, they never agreed to fix for $5. No one's going to fix a car for $5 like that. It was supposed to be $100 to $200 apparently, and he only gave him $5. That was the apparent problem. Talking to them because it was interrupted by the landlords. The kids did in fact run away. Now the landlords have just said everything I just said is a lie. The landlords were there and they talked to me. They've already just said that I heard them speaking Punjabi saying that they saw me in the park talking to the kids. So they've already admitted that I've done that. So that part is in fact true.
Okay, please pause for interpretation.
Because I wasn't at home and my wife didn't have the phone.
Okay. Go ahead, Tenant.
Did she just say his wife didn't have the phone?
I don't want to bicker about insignificant facts.
Then
I want your perspective.
Yeah, but why is he responding? She's supposed to be telling him what happened, and he's not supposed to respond, but he just did respond.
Tenant, I am in control of the hearing. I will take control of the hearing. And so I'm asking you to simply present your perspective on each of these incidents.
I did, but what?
I can get the most information from you to support your case.
I'm trying to do that.
I don't need your help. Okay, but I don't need your help to control the hearing. Thank you. You paid a $100 filing fee, and you wanted your opportunity to discuss the laundry, the inspections, etc. I have given you that time. If you need more, I will allow you to upload a written statement. I've heard enough from you today.
Okay, actually, the tenant's father was instructing those guys to charge double from myself because they were the ones who brought him and they were the ones who were instructing him.
What? I didn't even know this guy. Watch us in the laundry room. This is where the laundry room problem all started. He would watch us in the laundry room every single week when we did laundry. And often he would corner me trying to get me to sign illegal leases and ask me strange questions about my personal life and things that were very creepy. And I put up with this a lot. I'm just saying this was a slow building process of his.
There is no new lease. It's the original one.
Okay, Tenant, go ahead.
She said there was no new lease because I never signed a new lease. That's what I'm saying. But, okay.
But then there's no new lease, so you don't need to argue every single point.
I
just would like you to focus on your defense of the 1 month notice because it is the most important thing to determine what was your side of the story on that day.
This is all tied into the entire thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. There was a whole process of leading up. This is inspections. The inspections are one of the two biggest factors of this.
Did you present any evidence? Did you provide any evidence that the inspections have occurred more than once per month?
No, they never did occur more than once. That's not the point. That's what I'm saying. He used that legal to... That was not the case. I've just explained to you what he's doing in the inspections.
No, he is not telling the truth. The tires are still burst. They are not being fixed.
No, but landlord, did you speak to that person who slashed your tires?
Before.
Did you speak to them before they slashed your tires?
Before he burst the tires. Sorry? Were you asking us before or after the bursting?
So the stranger, did the landlord ever ask the stranger
Before.
to fix their vehicle?
क्या तुसी कभी भी किसी बंदे नु क्या सी के ताड़ी गड्डी ठीक कर दवे? No.
I have video evidence of this.
Landlord, did you ever offer to pay $5 to that stranger?
क्या तुसी कभी ओनु $5 ऑफर किते सी पे करन ले?
तो ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਪਤਕਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਬੈਟਰੀ ਖਰਾਬ ਸੀਗੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਟਾਇਰ ਤੋਂ ਬੈਟਰੀ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫਿਕਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਰਾਂ ਤੂਰਾਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਖੁੱਲੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ
Jesus fucking Christ, yes or no questions here.
Trying to fix it or replace the battery in the car when a stranger passed by and he asked us that he can help us.
He's including something about some kid that has nothing to do with me and took up a large amount of time. I offered to help. This is where I was talking about the guy across the road, the friend with the security camera. I was talking to him and the landlord came out. This is on around February, maybe 5th or 6th. The landlord did in fact tell me, because I said I was talking to those kids and I offered to help, he said that don't worry about the no contact order, you can call me anytime. Remember, this is all in between the January 6th incident and today. He has said on multiple occasions today and the last hearing that he's scared. He's very scared because I'm punching him, they're attacking us, they're hitting us, which is not true. He has said at this time in February that I could call him whenever I want to help him because he thought I might be able to help him with finding this kid because of a no contact order that I was given. They're not supposed to come down here. The police told them that and they know that. That's another lie. They know that. Right after one of the last times he asked me for the $150. This was the video at the door.
Are you discussing an illegal rent increase?
That's right.
Okay, I'm not concerned about that as far as whether that has any impact on the 1 month notice at this time.
Okay, landlord.
Pause for interpretation, and then I will ask you to talk about pest control.
Wait,
So,
you don't need interpretation if it doesn't matter though. Why do you need interpretation if it doesn't matter?
Yes, I do. The entire hearing must be interpreted for the other party.
But
ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਸੀ 10% ਵਧਾਇਆ
he doesn't need to talk. It's my turn to talk here. Objection.
Tenant, do you have any evidence that there are rats inside your rental unit?
I never said there were rats in my rental unit. There are no rats in my rental unit. There's video of him saying this, that I could cause him to have a heart attack, his health, depression. He keeps saying about opening the windows. Where in this country is there anywhere that you can't open windows? He said 3 times yes, 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 that they gave me the rent increase form, the proper form. I have submitted evidence of a written form that is not proper evidence called Rent Inc.
My life was in danger. They physically assaulted me.
This is nothing.
They pushed my bike, punched me.
Punch?
Police have charged them with assault. I have attached a video as proof showing that they are uttering discriminatory words. So, I'm in fear of them.
That's all lies.
Okay, I just want to confirm, Tenant, I know you're concerned that we'll run out of time. I can adjourn if we run out of time.
Okay, well, yeah, and that's what I was going to say. It feels...
You may have filed a previous application, or your
This whole... Yeah, no.
might have been...
No, this is
about
about...
the landlord's access.
No, it's about the access is about harassment. This originally was an attempt at a enforcement and compliance thing, and that didn't work. So I had to do a dispute resolution to do this. I want them joined together. I'm just saying I didn't understand why we're focusing on this so much. I thought this was a lesser
Well,
issue.
The most important thing is whether the tenancy continues. If the tenancy is going to end.
What about my entire case that I paid $100? I paid $100 for this entire thing. I amended it to that to defend against it, so that would be the simplest thing without paying.
If you'd like to start chronologically, you can. Okay, thanks.
May I ask him, how long after the assault did he talk to Jackson, or when did he talk to Jackson about this?
Mommy, want me to interpret that?
Yes.
Sure.
She has to tell me, like, I cannot take orders from the tenant.
Well, you're supposed to interpret what I say, though. That's a
Well, Tenant,
Okay.
I don't know if this line of questioning is helpful.
It's definitely helpful.
You think it was an accident? No, listen. Something happened on January 6th. The landlord's calling it an assault. The tenant's calling it an accident. The tenant says the landlord...
I'm not calling it an accident. I'm calling it defending myself.
Because the landlord has harassed me repeatedly on long occasions, and it culminated in this event.
That's right.
Is that right, or is that wrong?
That's right. That's right. But I'm trying to ask, when did he talk to
So
Jackson?
where in your tenancy agreement does it say that you would have access to water outside? Does it say in your tenancy agreement anything about the outside water, and why do you believe the landlord is denying access? Did you previously have access to the water outside?
Like, this guy keeps cutting me off. Okay, he's asking these questions about the interpreter. May I ask a question about my original case that I filed $100 for and went?
No.
Why is he allowed to keep asking questions? Why am I not and he is?
No, I'm going to conclude the hearing.
But you've said that numerous times, and he's talked. You've said that numerous times and allowed him to talk, though.
And I have the information in the file to make a decision in this matter.
Okay, what about the original matter that I filed for? What about what I originally filed for?
Please call the tenancy branch and ask an information officer what you can do about that.
Why not you? You're the judge and jury in this. Like, I paid money and I filed reports for mailing, for Staples. I did 2 different complete packages.
For your service today.
Like, are you kidding me?
I have enough information to make a decision. Still there, interpreter?
Yes, I am there.
Okay, what is the landlord saying to you?
You just said you've heard enough. Why are you asking them?
Tenant, I will invite you now to provide any closing statements before we conclude the hearing.
Closing statements. So, I'm not even going to get to talk about all the different stuff that I supplied from my hearing originally, which has essentially been turned into just an eviction survival hearing. That's all I get?
That's the law.
The law should be, I created this hearing, so I should get to talk about the majority of the cases that were all brought in the evidence.
I heard you at the last hearing.
You heard pieces, little bits and pieces. You heard maybe like 20% of what I had. Also the washing of the car. This was addressed last time, and you saying that that's not marked off in the boxes. However, if it's not marked in the boxes, okay, why does it say right underneath, utilities included? Last I heard, utilities included water, and that includes the water outside. Now that I don't have much time for you to make a decision to respond only if necessary, I will say, in fact, that if his water is so precious to him, I will be glad to see his bill after each washing of the car and pay the 50 cents to $1 Canadian each time.